Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Startup Sense podcast. This is your host, Jonah Lupton. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is going to be one of my favorite episodes. I can already tell because we have an amazing CEO slash co-founder on the phone with us. It's Jacob Jaber. He is currently running a company called Philz Coffee. That's Philz with a Z. Website is philzcoffee.com. Right now, they have somewhere over 40 stores, about 1,000 employees. They've raised $75 million from investors. They have an amazing group of investors, including some celebrities. We'll talk about that. They are creating a ton of customer loyalty. They hire amazing people, and we're going to talk about this story in a second. So let's welcome Jacob. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time. So tell us what exactly Philz Coffee is. What do you guys do?
Well, Philz is a unique place, and you could get coffee at a lot of places, and every place has something special about it. But what we do is really unique. Our menu board consists of blends that my dad has spent decades to work on, and you won't find a latte or a cappuccino. Everything at Philz is handcrafted coffee, and it's just really delicious. And there's something for everybody on the menu. So it's a very personalized experience. When you walk in, you go to the barista, someone who's warm and welcoming and friendly, and you interact with them, and they can help you order if you're not sure what you want or if it's your first time. And we craft the cup on the spot. We grind the beans fresh, and we put all the ingredients in. It's a full service bar. So after you order, the barista will take a few minutes to handcraft it and then serve it up and call you up to come grab it and ask you to try it to make sure it's perfect. So it's just a really high touch, high quality experience. And the coffee is it's got a very different taste, and it's just delicious.
Now, how do you guys source all your blends? Because I've gone to the website and you guys do have some delicious looking blends that your typical coffee store just doesn't have. So how did you guys, where did that idea come from?
Well, my dad has always been passionate about coffee, people, and community. And the reason why we specialize in blends, we do have great single origin beans for the folks who like that, but he believes in blending cultures and environments and combining cultures to create something better than each of his parts. So he spent decades experimenting with different varietals from different farms and regions of the world to try to accomplish an extremely smooth coffee that has a ton of complexity but synergy and is lower in acidity, and it's just really delicious. So that's one part of it. The magic is in multiple. There's multiple pieces of the magic. That's one. It's also in the process of how we prepare the coffee and the experience in the store. So it's just a really great personalized experience. But the Tesora is my personal favorite, and that's the first one he came out with. I drink it with honey and cream. It's fantastic.
Nice. Okay, so when did the first store open?
So it used to be a grocery store. My dad, since he was 21 years old, he had this grocery store in the Mission District in San Francisco, a small neighborhood that has changed over the years. And it's slowly transitioned, and it's now the original. It's the original Philz. So around 2003 is when he started transitioning the store to a coffee shop, and he kind of took the furniture from our house and put it in the coffee shop. And just removed an aisle at a time, and just really try to make it comfortable for people. It was a slow and organic transition. You know, he would sample some of this coffee that he was trying to perfect with his regulars at the grocery store, and they were just flabbergasted when they tried it because it was so great and unique. And slowly, more and more, as he shared it with more people, he started focusing on it more, and then eventually sold his liquor license, his tobacco license, and just focused on the coffee. And it was weird. There was weird stages because it would be confusing for some folks to walk in and, well, is this a grocery store or a coffee shop? And it transitioned all the way. But if you walk into the original Philz today, it's really an institution and it's a busy store, and you can feel the history and the heritage in the store.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Now, when did you join the company?
Well, I've been helping my dad since I was 9, 10, 11 years old when it was a grocery store. I was helping him, and I was mostly doing stocking and the register, and I would stand on top of milk crates because I wasn't tall enough to reach the register at that time. So I would stand on top of milk crates and ring up customers and deal with people and work with people, and I'd learn a lot. So I was kind of like an expert. By the age of 15, I knew the whole business, and so at around the age of 18, 19, I left school and started working full time because at that time I was transitioning to a coffee shop, and my dad gave me the opportunity to run and build the company. So at the age of 18, 19, I was doing that with him by my side, and we were working together. And it was beautiful, and it still is beautiful, and working with a family has its ups and downs, but it was net positive. So I've been there from the beginning with him, and today we're still doing it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I got a chance to work with my dad for 4 or 5 years after college in the investment business, and ups and downs. We had a lot of great moments together, and then we butted heads on other things. But working with family certainly has its perks. Okay, right. So 2003, I think you said you start transitioning into the coffee store. When did you guys really start to grow the brand and begin opening up additional locations?
It took us some years before we opened our second store because we didn't have a master plan that said we're going to open all of these stores and grow everywhere. It was really just about passion and loving what we were doing and just really wanting to create a sense of community and quality in everyone's day that walked in. And so our customers were literally pulling us to open up another location. So that's how we opened the other location was opened really just by customer demand. The third one, same thing. So it's been like that. At around 2013, we started expanding more rapidly because we felt really confident in our ability to execute on our values at a little bit of a larger scale. And that's obviously the barrier. We just want to make sure we do it right. So we started to grow more rapidly since around 2013.
What were some of those values that really made Philz Coffee so great, that made customers just love you guys and created a demand for new locations?
Yeah, I mean, people. It all comes down to people. Really making sure we have great people working with us and treating them like people and not like employees, and just circling around a fantastic mission that we all believe in and working at it. So just being super caring in the hiring process, the training process, the leadership, the quality. It's a lot of work, all of that stuff, but we've not compromised on that, and we won't.
So that first round of capital that you guys raised, according to Crunchbase, it says May 2013, about $15 million. That was a Series A. So a lot of names, like 22 or 23 different investors in there, including a couple celebrities. So someone like Snoop Dogg. So how did you guys get all these investors involved, including some of these celebrity investors?
Well, a lot of our customers were these people. It was fantastic because as we've grown, we had the opportunity to build relationships because we spent a lot of time in our stores with great, fantastic people. And being in Silicon Valley, there's no shortage of great investors who we came across who were Philz fans. So as we became more confident and there was more clarity around where we wanted to do with Philz, we decided we wanted to be fully equipped to succeed and grow. And we decided to start a process, and we wanted to take the decision as seriously as we did when we hired someone. So we took our time and we found the right fit, and we just went from there. It worked out really well.
Perfect. Do you remember how many stores you had before you raised that first round of
I think it
capital?
was 11,
Okay.
10 or
And
11.
you guys had essentially bootstrapped yourselves to 11 stores.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's impressive. So then you raised the 15 million in 2013. You guys obviously, pour more gasoline on the fire, as they say. Open up some more stores. Then you raise another $15 million in early 2015, and then you've raised, then another $45 million, I think, in September. So kind of like every 18 months, you guys are raising capital, which seems to make sense. So what is your growth strategy right now? I know you guys have started to move to the East Coast. You're coming into Boston. What else is on the roadmap?
Yeah, so we've been able to do a great job here in California, in the Bay Area, in Los Angeles, and San Diego. We just launched our first store there, and it's going great. It's a great community in Encinitas and Orange County. And so we really want to continue doing a great job here and growing. But we have so many people for the past almost decade asking us to open in places like New York, Boston, D.C., and many other great cities. So we really want to do a great job like we did here, but on the East Coast. And we're in Washington, D.C. right now, and we have a couple of stores, small, but we're growing, and it's been fantastic. The enthusiasm and the response and the reviews from customers are just as good as the days when we started here. So we feel fantastic about that, and we're going to continue growing in DC. Boston will be our next city that we open in, and hopefully we can do more after that. But it's really one store at a time. We really want to do it right. We want to feel proud, and just like we want to make each customer happy, we want to build each store and feel proud of each one and really invest in it.
Do you guys think you'll ever franchise, or at this point?
I don't think so. Not in the foreseeable future.
Okay. When you decide to go in, let's take Boston, for instance. Like, when did you guys decide that you needed to go into Boston, and how long does it really take to make that happen? To find the right location, to find the right people, to get everything set up, all the permits and approvals, everything else you got to go through. I mean, is it 6 months?
It's hard work. It's hard work because it's not about. You will fail if you go in and just say, I want to open a store in Boston. Sounds cool. Sounds nice. We actually take a very deep dive into it because we want to grow authentically. So we talk to people from Boston. We want to learn about the microculture. We want to learn about the differences in the communities. We want to learn about what challenges people are facing. We want to learn about what the locals love and what they care about. We want to learn about what problems we can help solve. So we don't act like we know Boston. We're still learning about it, and we want to make sure there's a right fit. So after many months and over a year now of learning and studying and talking to people and talking to the locals, we feel like we have a really good understanding and feel like it'd be a great fit. So with that, then we don't open a store in Boston. We start staring Philz in communities. And we do that through opening stores. So it's just a different way to look at it. And that means we're invested in Boston. So it's not going to be one or two stores. It's going to be, let's try to build a great brand here and add value and be a great fit.
This is Jonah Lupton, founder of the Lupton Group and host of the Startup Sense podcast. Are you struggling to find the right tech team to build your company's website or mobile app? Maybe you've developed a product but need help with your go-to-market strategy, including branding and marketing. Well, stop worrying, because my team at the Lupton Group can assist you with all of those needs. We specialize in helping entrepreneurs and startups of all sizes launch and grow their businesses. For a free consultation, you can email me at jonahlupton@gmail.com or visit our website at luptongroup.co. So what is the marketing strategy for the company? I mean, and I'm sure it's a little bit different for existing stores versus new stores. So let's talk about new stores, right? Because you guys are, you're opening up stores in San Diego and DC and Boston. So
social media is fantastic, right? Because your customers are your the best marketers, and our philosophy is that if you just do a great job with the experience, people will come back and tell one another. In addition to that, though, just making sure we choose good locations. That's been something we're learning about, choosing the right locations that feel like they fit the brand well, but have enough great people in the community so that, we can expose ourselves to more people. So it's a mix of location and doing just a really great job with the experience. And of course, we're active on social media. But above and beyond that, we don't find it. We don't really think we need to do much more because at the end of the day, we got to focus on doing well at what our core is, and if we do a good job, we'll earn the right to continue growing.
So when you guys look for the right location, I'm sure there's a lot of factors that play into it. I'm sure you guys gather a whole bunch of data, but do you prefer to be near residential or business, or try to find something that's close to both?
That's the beautiful thing, right? It ties back to like, the best could mean something can mean different things to different people. So same thing with everything in life, right? So it's not about we only want to go to suburban, or we want to go to urban, or we want to be in the financial district. It's really about where are all the great communities we want to be in, no matter if they are if they're multifaceted or they're singular in their meaning they might just be a suburban place, or it might be near a university. So it's really all about the right location that serves each community best, even though those communities look. So we have different ways to look and measure, and we have different expectations for each of those types, but we don't rule those out. So we have a variety of approaches.
Now, I know you mentioned this before, and I just want to kind of harp on it again because I know it's really important to you, is culture and hiring the right people and finding the people that are going to represent the brand well. So kind of tell us, what is your strategy behind hiring, recruiting, and retaining talent?
That's so hard. What gets time from the leaders of a company is important. And I personally give a lot of time to hiring. So, and we're always talking about it and really focused on trying to make the right decision. Because we really don't like to impose a big book of policies on our people. We really want to empower our people. So we take a lot of time in making sure we're hiring the right people. And it's a lot of art and some science, but we talk about our values, we talk about what characteristics are important, and then we try to find people who align with those characteristics. So it's a hard process, and it's not a black and white. There's a lot of art to it.
If you look back, on last week, for instance, how do you split up your time? I mean, where are you spending the majority of your time? For a guy that's running a company with 1,000 employees and 40 plus locations, I'm sure you get pulled in a million directions, but how do you split it up?
Well, I drink a lot of coffee. I start with a Tesora with honey and cream, and it's
how many
fantastic.
Cups a day, to be honest?
3.
Oh, that's not bad.
And coffee is really, our cups. So a cup of Philz is a real cup of coffee. What I mean by that is it's equivalent to 4 or 5 shots.
Woo,
we use a lot of coffee in 1 cup. So
love it.
And coffee is good for you. There are a lot of health benefits and more that keep coming out that talk about the benefits of coffee. And some people are sensitive to it. We have great decaf too, and teas, but coffee is good for you. So I drink coffee a lot, and I enjoy it throughout the day. Mondays and Tuesdays are typically heavier meeting days where I will meet with the team, check in with everybody, see how everything's going, walk around the office, maybe visit a few stores. And then Wednesday through Friday is the heavier store visits. It's real estate. It's interviewing candidates. And that's mostly it. I mean, the best part of what I do is just spending time in stores.
Are you able
Probably
to
the
be
most
kind of
important.
your own secret shopper now, where you go into a store, but
Oh, I never do. No, people know me and I know them. I don't like to play that game. I mean, we get a lot of feedback from customers every day, and I read every single one, and so does the whole executive team. Every single piece of feedback, and I'm talking hundreds every
where
single day.
where do you typically get them? Is it through social media, through email, through the website?
Everything, through
Okay.
everything. Yelp, social media, and surveys, everything.
What's the tone? I'm assuming most of it is overwhelmingly positive. What kind of negative feedback have you guys gotten that kind of alerted you to a problem that needed to be resolved?
Number one is sometimes wait time could be a
Okay.
problem. Sometimes there's inconsistency. Those are probably the two big ones in terms of opportunities for us. Inconsistency, and because we know we have quality, but if we're inconsistent in the delivery of it, it could be perceived as lower quality, meaning like, oh, my coffee wasn't made right, or it was a little bit, it wasn't sweet enough, or something like that, right? But, we're in the high 90s in terms of satisfaction, but we really like to spend a lot of time on the bad stuff because we want to keep getting better.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I mean, that's what makes you guys so great. Um, what else did we miss today? I mean, what else? What other parts of the story did you want to get out there?
Yeah, well, Philz is a different experience. So when you walk in, you don't go to a cashier, order, pay, and pick up and leave. We do have mobile. So if you want to pre-order and prepay and pick up and leave because you need that convenient and fast experience, we love that, and we have that, and we do a great job at that. But at the heart, when you walk in, at the heart of the experience at Philz is very community oriented and quality and personalization. So when you walk in, you walk and wait in the line to order from a barista. And there's a line of baristas, and it's like a bar. And you walk up to the barista and you order, and it's so cool because it's personalized, meaning the barista is paying attention to you and is working very efficiently, but not making you feel rushed, and wants to help you if you haven't tried it before and help you decide. But if you know what you want, you can just order it. And the barista does everything for you from start to finish. They grind the beans. They add the ingredients. And at the end of it, they want to make sure you're happy with it. So right after you order, you head over to the food bar, which we have great food, and you pay. And then the barista will call up your drink, and you walk back to the barista you ordered from, and you pick it up and you try your coffee and you walk out. And it doesn't, from ordering to completion, it's 5 minutes or less in a lot of cases. So sometimes a little bit longer, but it's not that long. But it's just a really high quality experience. And as a customer, you really feel empowered and comfortable because of the experience. It's not transactional.
What kind of baristas are you hiring? I mean, are these people that have worked in other coffee shops, or they've worked in retail,
They're
or they just
great
love
people.
coffee?
I don't care where they worked. I prefer actually people who sometimes I prefer people who have not had direct experience. Coffee is not rocket science. You can't treat it as such. You got to take it seriously, and you got to take quality seriously, but it's not about the coffee. It's about the people.
Right.
So we want to hire nice people.
You can train them to be a good barista. You can't really train them to be a good person. They got to have that
In
already.
a lot of cases. That's right.
Here's a interesting question I just popped into my head. When was the last time you had a cup of coffee that was not made by Philz, and where was it?
Not made by Philz, and
I'm
where
guessing
was
probably like
it?
an airport
In
or
Boston.
something, right?
Thinking
In
cup,
Boston?
Thinking Cup in Boston.
Okay, cool.
And it was good. I like them. It was the one near Emerson College.
Yeah, I think I've actually been there before. I mean, there's a lot of coffee shops in Boston. Are you willing to tell us yet where in Boston you're going? What area, neighborhood?
I mean, we honestly don't have a location signed up yet, but we're working very hard at it because we're selective. But we love Harvard Square, we love Central Square, Kendall Square, Back Bay, South End. There's a lot of great places we like, so we're looking at a lot of places.
You're becoming a Boston expert already.
Oh yeah, I told you. I mean, we take it seriously. We really want to. We don't just want to come in and pop up. Like the locals should. As a person who's grown up or lives in Boston, you know your hood, right? And
Right.
how can we be authentic?
Well, that's what I was gonna. I mean, I lived in Boston for 10 years, and I loved moving around to all the different areas so I could kind of experience each neighborhood because each one's unique in its own way. So I spent a couple years in Chinatown, a couple years in Government Center, a couple years in the West End, a couple years in Beacon Hill, and then the last 4 years in Back Bay.
Where would you like to see us?
I think Back Bay personally.
On Boylston or Newberry?
I lived on the corner of Exeter and Newberry above Stephanie's restaurant.
Oh, great.
I think either. I think both of those would be amazing locations. They get a ton of foot traffic. You have, residential and business. Um, Beacon Hill, I think could be trickier. I don't think Beacon Hill would be that good. Seaport
Yeah.
District, possibly. That's obviously the kind of the up and coming area of Boston. There's not quite as much business and residential down there right now as there would be in the Back Bay. South End, I don't know South End that well. North End, I love it for the restaurants, but probably not the best spot for a coffee shop. So I think Back Bay would be your gold mine, but
yeah,
there's a lot of competition, but obviously you guys have this brand that, is so much different than what everyone else is doing. I think you guys would crush it up there. And I'm sure if you go into Boston, your goal is to open up multiple locations. So
absolutely.
Well, I mean, on that, actually, I do want to ask you one more question. If
Sure.
someone came to you and said, I'm looking to, let's leave coffee shop out of this. I'm looking to start I don't know, a yogurt place or a healthy dessert place, which is actually one of my goals. And their goal is, their dream is to open up 5, 10, 15 locations over the next 3, 4, 5 years. What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I always love the question, what is the truth to your ambition? So really digging into why you want to do something and what are you really passionate about? And if you could find a way to marry your skills, what you're good at, with your passions, and be able to make money so you can sustain yourself, that's a fantastic mix. So, don't ever start with money. Start with the passion and the what you love and what you're great at. So it's a good question for everybody to think about. What's the truth to your ambition?
I like that. I'm going to have to use that again.
And it's a personal question, right?
It is. Oh, for sure. Right. You got to have that inner drive and right. Something's got to motivate you to want to stick with this. Because, I'm sure in the beginning, it sounds like you guys, people loved your coffee from the beginning. So, that wasn't the issue, right? But you still had to, I'm sure you've still put in some very long hours, sleepless nights and that kind of thing, right?
It's too hard that you have to love it or you'll give up.
What has been kind of the biggest challenge for you guys? Where you're laying in bed at night thinking, holy crap, how are we going to deal with that?
So I'm an optimist and I have perspective. Like some people are struggling to find their next meal. So, I have it good. So it's all about perspective. So I'm at the end of the day, yeah, it's tough and what's complaining going to do? I have a roof over my head. We have great people. We're in the offensive. We're in offense mode. So this is a good mode to be in.
How good does it feel that, you get to wake up every morning knowing that 1,000 people have jobs because of you?
It feels great. And sometimes I think there's more we can be doing with that. I honestly don't think we're doing enough. And I don't know what the answer is yet. And it's not about, let's give everybody raises and more benefits. Those are great things. We do those. We want to do that. We want to make people feel valued. That's critical. But what more can we really do? How can we really inspire people? So I think there's more work to do.
Awesome. Well, I have no doubt that you'll figure it out. And last question here. What is your favorite thing about your dad?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably his courage and his fearlessness. He's never scared to do something. He really truly acts on it. So he doesn't really care what people think. He does what he thinks is the right thing, and he does it. even if it sounds crazy, and it always usually works.
Hey, you gotta be a little crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I really want to thank you for coming on the show, man. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time chatting with you. I
Yeah,
love hearing the
same.
story. I mean, you guys are growing so fast. You guys must be doing a lot of things right. So I'm excited to have you come to Boston. If you ever want to get my thoughts on what locations I think would
I'd
work
love
and why,
that.
yep, definitely shoot me an email and we can
And I'd
connect.
love to invite you to our opening party when we have it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Love it. You better
Okay?
have a lot of
Yeah, I
coffee
want
on
you.
hand though, because
I'll
I'm a,
make
I'm a
you something
coffee.
personally. I want to make you something personally that you're gonna love.
Sweet. That's awesome. Thank you so much. How can we learn more about Philz and find locations, right? On the website?
Yeah, the website's obviously great. I'd follow us on social media because it's cool. You get to get a taste of what we're about and get news and updates. So Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, and if you're interested in working with Philz, it's a great opportunity. You can do that. Our website has a career section, and for me, you can follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm not as active as I used to be on that, but I sometimes will write blogs.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I'll put all those in the show notes. Is Philz on Snapchat yet?
Yeah, but we're not doing a good job at it. We're not
It's
using it.
hard. It's hard.
Yeah, we're not using it. I personally am a avid viewer of snaps, but not a creator of content.
That goes for me too. I don't have anything, really that exciting I
Yeah,
need to put on Snapchat. So, okay,
yeah.
man. Well,
But
Jacob, it's been
next time before you look at your phone, look up. That's what I'd also tell everybody. Stay present, stay in the moment, and Phil's, our experience is meant to help encourage that. Stay present, be nice to people, right?
absolutely. And it seems like Phil's is a great place to have meetings, right? I mean, you guys probably get a lot of
Oh,
that.
yes. You hit it on the nose. It's a perfect place to just connect. Everyone's very friendly and welcoming.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you guys come to the East Coast and expand into the Northeast. So,
Absolutely.
if I can do anything to help, please let me know. I'm already a believer and an advocate of the brand. So, wish you the
Yeah.
best and come back anytime
Thank
and give
you.
us some updates.
Well, we'll be in touch. I really appreciate the time. This was fantastic.
You got it, man. Talk to you soon, Jacob. Best wishes.
All right. Bye-bye.